Hey everybody, I'm going to do a review on a couple of these knives here. The good folks at BuckNBear actually gave me this knife, and then they loaned me this knife to look at. So first off, what we're going to do is just check out their presentation boxes, which are kind of cool. Those magnetic boxes. Okay, so that's kind of cool, and they come out with these cutout foam things. I would take this out, but my chunky fingers keep getting scratched up trying to get this thing out of here. But this is a cool box. Really nice presentation there. Let's keep that there, just for there. See if we can keep this all in focus. This is the BuckNBear Combat Tanto. And holy heck, if you guys stab something, I think you could take this along and stab it pretty well. Now this will be tested. Will it be found wanting? Or will it be found awesomeness? We don't know. It's 440C. It's 5.5 inches of just really dangerous looking steel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, no, I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. That's 6 inches. I'm going to jail. Let me see. Holy heck. I don't know who's doing your counting over there. This is 6 inches of death right here. All right, yeah, 6 inches, just legal. Just a month over legal here in the great state of Texas. All right, you got some dangerous feeling serrations, kind of like steak knife serrations here. That will mess you up. Let's see how sharp this is. Now I'm out of coupons. Hold on one second. We're out of coupons. We're going to do regular paper, folks. If you can tell, this is how this came. Just sharp as anything. So no problems. Very good. Very sharp. Regular paper. They can't all be coupons. So, 6 inches of blade, 6 inches of 440C. Excellent Tanto. This thing is pointy as heck. This will stab you nicely. And I like their logo, the BB logo there. That's kind of cool. You got G10 scales. Now, one thing I will say about this is these scales are very rough and unfinished feeling. And I hate to say anything negative about a free knife, but if these things were just smoothed out a little bit, I know this would be a much better feeling knife. Let me get you an example of what I'm talking about, if I can find it over here in the pile of mess of knives. All right. Now this we've already seen. This is the Tops Pathfinder. Now see how that micarta they use is just kind of smoothed out. It's bumpy enough so it's not going to slip out of your hand. If they would just take the time and kind of smooth out these sharp ridges, I think they would have a much better knife and a much better feeling knife. Just grabbing it like this just kind of starts digging into your fingers. You can tell right there. Now I kind of got chunky fingers, so it's like memory foam on the end of my fingerprints, but still, you get the idea. It's not going to be a totally pleasant experience holding on to some of these sharp ridges. And another thing that I'm noticing, let me put the tops away real quick. We're not reviewing the tops. We already did that. Another thing are the machined edges here. Now, I could see, like, if you wanted to leave some of this here, maybe a little bit for striker purposes, which I haven't tried yet. We will in a second. But maybe just smoothing this out a little bit. That's not going to reduce the impact of whacking something in the head or giving somebody a forehead smack or a little dot on the end of their nose. But this just feels real. In fact, if you look, I'm not trying to be a wuss, but pulling this out just scraped the heck out of my nail bed there. And it's got a real sharp feel on the edge here. See how this is all smoothed out here on this bevel here? If they just kind of beveled this over a little bit. Now I'm telling you, since this is my knife, he said it. Don't look at me, he said it. I'm gonna see what that works. I'm gonna try and just maybe sand this down a little bit just to get it down just a little bit. I think smoothing this out would make it feel a lot better. I'm not crazy about the way this thing points in. I know what you're trying to do as far as protect your finger. Here, let me show you. But you could do it. Oh, let me just gank that over there. See this? This is what we're going to test this against today. This is the Cold Steel Recon GI Tanto. GI Tanto right there. It's like having your name on your name tag, not remembering it. See right there, it kind of goes forward, so you're still protected, but it's not jamming into your finger like this little ridge here, especially this little point right there. If you're down here, this is going to get uncomfortable. Even for somebody with medium-sized fingers, I think this would start to get a little bit tiresome. So maybe if you put it like yay, something like that, that would still work, right? Because you still got this big finger choil here. Oh, that's another thing. Taking this choil up. Yeah, these guys design knives, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do know what I like, so I'm going to keep talking about it. If this was maybe like a quarter, like the size of a quarter, I don't think that would reduce the effectiveness of the knife, and it would give you a nice place to stick your finger if you want to get up here and do any kind of intricate work with this, in case this ended up being your field knife and not just your grizzly killer. All right, so enough. I'm not complaining. It's going to go through the test. I do like the sheath. Very cool sheath. Kydex sheath. Got the label on here. It's got the belt snappy thing on the back here. If I was smart enough to open it, there we go. Just whack your belt in there. Sticks on your belt. Sticks on whatever gear you need to stick onto. Sideways. All right, so there we go. This is the BuckNBear Tanto Combat Fighter. I'm going to be doing some testing on it in a little bit here. So, what shall we test first? Shall we stick it into a brisket? I think so. Let's go. Okay, here's a little test with the BuckNBear Tanto Combat Fighter here. Now this is just a fighty, pokey, stabby knife, so let's see if it stabs and pokes and fights. I'm neither buck nor bear, I am both. Oh shoot. Yeah, that's gonna go right into something, or yeah, that's a pokey knife for sure. That is not going to be an issue. Poking, and it's sharp. Look at that. That's pretty sharp. Check that. On one hand, and removing the fat from this thing. So it's nice and sharp. It's coming sharp, and it's very pokey. So it's going to do the job. Now all we got to do is work on these scales. All right, more to come. Okay, now I know this is not bushcrafting choppy kind of knife, but I thought we'd bring it in here to the testing tray to see how the steel holds up, and just to kind of get an idea of the quality of the steel in the blade, and just to check it out. So I figure whack on it, poke it a little bit, stab on it, peel off some flesh, and figure it out from there. Maybe just smash into this a little bit. That'd be fun. All right, so here we go. See how it goes. Let's get in there and chop it. All right. So I got some good chopping in there. I don't feel any chips along that blade. It's not rolled or anything. So far, so good. Continue, sir. Now, let's grab back here, because getting on this is going to kind of poke into my hand a little bit. From back here, though, that's a good chopping action. Get down here and chop the side a little bit. Alright, again, I know this isn't a bushcraft knife, But, you know, say you're out there doing some street fighting, you find yourself in the lost jungle or something, you gotta break yourself down and make you a little hooch for the night. So, alright, let's grab some cardboard. See how it's holding up here. Again, not a cardboard knife. Not something you're going to want to take into the warehouse with you to break down cardboard. But still, keeping a cardboard cutting edge pretty well. Okay, let's stab this bad boy. This is what this is for, stabbing. Ow. Ow. Okay, you stab. Be careful. Stab from back here, because this thing's going to punch you in the fingers. Alright. So. Stab. Ow. Again, this thing, don't stab with that thing. Ouch. Can you see that? Am I getting stabbing? Stabbing and twisting and stabbing and twisting and digging and twisting and stabbing. Look, that point's holding up nicely. So, not really a problem. Again, the only problem we're having with this knife is the handle and this choil area here, this guard. Now, I can see where this would be important, but it doesn't come out far enough to really give you an extra weapon there, unless you're carrying it from back here. I don't know. So, now that thing, that's going to mess something up badly. Put that into somebody's forehead, and it's over. That's not a pleasant feeling. That's a damage doer right there. Holy heck. Alright, so there you go. This thing chopped, slices nicely, kept its edge. So it's not rolled or anything. So let's kick it back to the desk and see what we got going on. Hey everybody, what I've done is kind of fixed up this blade a little bit, gave it a little bit more room here behind the guard, smoothed out this handle so it doesn't hurt as bad. And then I'm going to do a little testing and chopping here and just see if it feels better before we go back to the desk here. So it's just, see that? Already feels 1,000 times better. It's just not cutting into my hand. This pokey thing on this guard is not jamming into my finger. Now this back here I didn't do anything on yet, so it's kind of still cutting on me. I'm thinking about taking it, maybe and removing that little hook there. I don't know. So it's about 100 times better than it was before. So let's just what I want to do now is put this one away and break out a couple of its friends, not from the same company, but the same kind of long pointy things, and just see how they hold up. Ooh. And how the similar situation holds up, maybe a cheaper knife, and just kind of compare. I don't have a whole bunch of fighting knives, so this is my Bowie, my Schrade Bowie, old timer. We'll see how this holds up. Tell you what, look at that. This thing, you get some momentum on this bad boy. Look at that. Oh, wow. This thing's a whacker. I need to figure this out here. This thing's going way, way to town. Take that bad boy out. Let's see if we can get up and down the blade here. I might be promoting Schrade whack jobber here. Let's see. How's that working there? Any rolling? The blade is hot. That's awesome. Alright, let's stab into this thing a little bit. See if we can't create some issues with that point. Now, I know this isn't the correct use for these knives or what we're trying to do, but just trying to get an idea of what these different steels can go through and how much you're going to have to pay for something quality like that. Alright, so we beat that up a little bit. Man, look at that. Oh, that's awesome. Check that out. This thing is a chopping beast. I'm just throwing chips all over the room. Alright, so there's that one. Now, let's break out this bad boy. See what it can do. Same kind of fighting knife. GI Tanto from Cold Steel. Tell you what, you put this 550 handle on here, it's a different feel. See, this knife, these last two knives are not killing my hand during use. Now, granted, this isn't an Indian knife fight or anything where we gotta. But as far as this comfort, oh, got a chip in the mouth. Yeah, I'm running out of time in my life. Okay, so that's another issue with this knife. I mean, you can't whack it as hard because I'm afraid of being hurt. See, that's still, that butt is cutting on my hand a little bit. Now, I know this is a fighting knife for a fighter, but still, if you're called upon to do anything else with this thing besides stick it into something, you're going to have some pain in your hands. Now, the way I fix these scales helps out a bit, and this choil isn't hurting like it was, or this guard. But this thing's still a pain in the hand. Ooh. Alright. Now that I'm out of breath, let's go see what's going on. Alright, so let's finish this up. Got these three knives here. Move this out of the way for a second. Little BuckNBear box here. And let's check this out. Okay. What we're going to do first, check out the BuckNBear. We wailed and smashed and poked and did everything we could to that blade. So first I'm going to check for chips. No chips or anything in that blade. And let's see how it cuts. Oh, not there. Let's go this way. Yeah, let's go this way. There we go. It's a little bit dull. Maybe a little bit right through there. Did it roll? Did it roll that blade? No, it didn't roll. It's just not cutting as well. So it might be a little bit dull. We did beat it up pretty nicely. Alright, so, but it kept that point. Still got the point on it. We stabbed it and jabbed it. So the 440C held up pretty nicely there. But that's not the question right now. We're going to check out, oh, let's just go through the things I did to it. Got rid of the point in the guard there, add a little choil there, really smoothed out these scales to make them where they're comfortable, not jagged and cutting into your finger every chance they get. I mean, I took all the ridges off, the edges, dremeled down the side, dremeled in through here. I didn't get into here yet. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So it's far more comfortable than it was when it came to me. Alright, let's see what the old timer did. Let's check this blade for chips or rolls. Maybe a chip there, but I think that may have been there before. Let's see. We were wailing on this thing. So it's got this chip here, but I think I had that chip in it before. Alright, let's see how it cuts on some paper here. kind of dulled up a little bit too, didn't it? Well, maybe not. It dulled up some. We wailed pretty hard on there. All right, so let's see if it rolled at all. Let's see if it rolled this blade. I mean, we were chipping pretty hard on this thing. Uh-oh, did it roll it? It may have rolled it here at the top here. Right through there. There's a small roll on there. So, it didn't survive unscathed. Did get a little roll there. And let's check the cold steel blade here. Good shape chip wise. Let's see. Let's see if we can get a piece of paper here to cut upon. Not that way. Still going through fairly easily. Let's see how this one goes. Oh, see, it's still going through pretty good. And let's check this one last time. See? Still good. So all three of these maintain their edge pretty well through the beating. Now, this is why we compared these. I want to go over three things, three reasons that this knife is kind of failing me. Well, make it four. The first reason we've already gone over, and that was the terrible discomfort you're going to have using this knife. This knife just felt unfinished, and one of my buddies said it just looked, the idea of it was like one of those $30 Rambo knives you get at the flea market. Just a hunk of metal that's been shaped into a knife and really no fit and finish whatsoever. Now, I've taken care of that, so, but you know, that's another story altogether. Let's say your only use for this is as a fighter, as a stabbing, fighting, death-dealing kind of knife. Is this better than these two for that purpose? I mean, it's not something you're using every day, right? It's not something you're out fighting with every day. So, is this better than these two? No. You could carry either of these two, just like you carry this, and this one might even do more damage in that kind of situation. If you're going length and just girth and just leverage. So as a fighter, this may not be the best option here. Okay, but now, let's say you're not just using it strictly as a fighter. You want something to take out in the woods. You may stab some stuff. You may use it to stab a bear or stab a grizzly or stab a hog or whatever. But you're also going to use it for your camping and your bush crafting or whatever. So you want kind of a dual purpose sort of use for this knife. You want to use it as a camp knife. Well, we already know that this out of the box is terrible for that because of how bad it's going to beat up your hand. This is going to be a nightmare if you're chopping with it. It's going to be a nightmare if you're stabbing with it or breaking down firewood or anything with this thing. It's going to hurt a lot until you spend a lot of time dremeling this down or sanding this down or just fixing this knife. So, on that 2-use or more use type of type of use, or type of attitude about the knife, you're still coming up short on this. You're still going to be able to use this better, chopping and whatnot, because this doesn't hurt whatsoever. There's no pain involved. And then the same thing with this one. Now, I did wrap some 550 on this, so, but still, for $25, you got no pain involved with the other aspects of your camping or bushcrafting or whatever type of knife. Now, these aren't the best bushcrafters, obviously, but just in case you wanted that kind of dual purpose use out of this knife. So we know it's not going to be the best fighter, and we know it's not going to be the best dual use knife just because of how uncomfortable this thing is. So now, what other reason are you going to spend a bunch of money on a blade that, you know, why are you going to spend $500 on a fixed blade? Well, because it's cool. I mean, it comes down to usefulness and coolness, right? I mean, that's the reason I bought this Demco. It's not because I'm necessarily needing a awesome fixed blade. It's awesome. It's got a cool name. It's got a cool use to it. It looks good. And just overall, it's cool. I'm going to be able to tell my friends, yeah, this is a Demco. It's a custom. But what are you going to be telling them about this? This is what? It's a 440C painful fighter knife that doesn't have any kind of cool factor to it. Any kind of, and I don't mean to use the word, but like braggadocio, so, you know what I'm talking. You're not going to be able to brag about this knife. That's not why you're buying this. You're going to tell your friends that you got this knife. It's not cool to pick up and play with. You can't break it out at a bushcraft party or send it out on Instagram saying, hey, I got this knife in. Because it's just not that. So you're not spending your money for that reason. So you're not spending the money because it's the best fighter for the money. You're not spending your money because it's the best dual or triple use kind of knife for the money. And you're not spending it because, you know, it's got a cool name to it or it's a cool use. So why would you spend your money buying a $100 knife that really doesn't serve any extra purpose for you? You bought, it's hard to explain. I don't mean to be so demeaning. Let's bring this out. Tops. Great knife. Great feeling to it. It feels good. Now, is it going to give me any bragging points? Probably not. I mean, a lot of people in the knife community know Tops knives. Some like them, some don't. But this knife feels good. This knife is going to be a good user. So it meets the usefulness part of this. This is going to stand up to the various things I'm going to use it out in the field for. And so, as a dual use type of knife, spending the money on this kind of knife makes sense. I like the knife. It's got a little bit of braggadocio to it. And it fits the bill for what it's worth. But this thing doesn't. This thing hurts to use. This thing, it has great steel. It held up nicely. But, you know, all these things held up nicely too. And these are, you can get this for $19.95 on Blade HQ. And I think this is $24.95 or something like that, right around there. And then you're going to end up spending $99.95 on this, or $99.99 on this knife. That's what's on their website. That's what you're going to spend on that. And I don't see it being worth it. It's not that kind of value. It doesn't have that kind of use behind it. And I hate being this guy. I hate being negative about it. If they sent it out with the scales all worn down and they fixed this thing here, and they fixed the guard and took that point down a little bit, and maybe if they took out the butt part or just did something with this, took this part off and just made this part the butt, I don't know. Maybe so. Maybe it would be worth a little bit more at that point. But I'd have to see that. I'd have to see that. Still wouldn't, you know, it's not any cooler than any other knife. But as a useful knife, it'd be great. Now at that point, it becomes more useful. And so you get a couple more uses out of it. I'm not sure it's $100 worth of useful though. And that, I mean, if they fixed it. At this point, it's not. At this point, this is painful. You'd have to feel this thing. You'd have to try to use it, you know, to whack at it. And just holding that thing gets old really quick. These ridges were painful. I spent some time knocking these down. All right, so I hate being the negative guy. I don't like that, but it's just, I don't want y'all spending your money on something that you're going to spend time with, and it's not, you're going to be pretty disappointed with for the money you're going to spend on this knife. All right, so I hate being negative. I really wanted to like this knife, and the guy that gave it to me was really cool about it. Ooh, sparks. So it sparks nicely. But I hate being this guy to be negative. No sparks. Alright. Like here, subscribe here, share the video, let me know what you think. I don't think there's any way to really change my mind about this knife unless they sent me something that's seriously upgraded on this. This is not a recommendable knife. Let me know what you think. Maybe you have this knife and you got tougher hands, or you're got a different opinion. Get over to Facebook. Some really cool stuff still going on over there. There's some really cool Facebook giveaways going on. And you're missing out on some cool conversations and some excellent people over there. And I will talk to y'all later.